What's up, you guys? It's Jonno! Today I'm going to show you my 9x 10km egg hatches. I know, I say it weird. They're 10k eggs. I got 9 of them. Alright, you guys, it's going to be litty. But first, I'm going to show you my walk, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about EGG-onomics. Alright, you guys, it's gonna be super exciting. Alright, we're gonna have a little egg extravaganza here. This is actually really interesting, you guys. Stick with it for just like 2 minutes with me, okay? It's gonna be a long video, but very, very interesting information here, and I am gonna do it as quickly as possible, and then we're gonna watch some seriously lit egg hatches. I hatched a perfect Pokemon. So, while I have your attention and while we wait to see which perfect Pokemon I hatched, I really want to talk about these EGG-onomics, alright? You guys, this is really important. My good buddy, Steve, who is like one of my huge channel supporters, came up with all of this math, and he went over it and poured over it, and he came up with this math, and I'm just like, Steve, this math is amazing, and I've been waiting for a really good opportunity to bring the information to the channel, and of course, hatching some 10k eggs is a really great opportunity to talk about it, and I'm actually really stoked that I got a perfect Pokemon out of an egg, because this math shows how rare it is, but it actually does happen, and for me it's actually happened quite a bit. But for people like Avoli, big shout out to Avoli, he's never hatched a perfect Pokemon, or I think maybe he's only hatched one or something like that, and me and him have hatched a comparable amount of eggs. Now I've hatched almost 3,000 eggs. I would say that I'm at the pretty top end of egg hatchers. There are some people who have hatched more than me, and most of those eggs were organic eggs. I was walking those eggs up until about 6 months ago when I didn't do as much walking as I do. So I stopped doing as much walking, but I haven't been hatching as many eggs either, so still most of those eggs are organic eggs. Alright, these are some organic eggs as well. I was walking with wifey in the neighborhood. We do this every night. I actually don't walk as much with my phone because weirdly enough, I find it to be a distraction, and I just enjoy the quality time with wifey. We walk and we talk and we enjoy the neighborhood, and the phone is kind of a distraction from that. I wish there was a better way to walk and still get my kilometers, but I don't like the plus and I don't like the gotcha. They just don't work for me, so I find them to be annoying. I don't like to have to wear them. I wish I could just do it on my phone without having, you know, the extra device. So anyway, I'm not really walking and playing that much Pokemon Go anymore. That's kind of an interesting thing. I do it when I want to do adventures, but on my nightly walk every single night, I actually don't play the walking game. It just doesn't work for me, and one of the reasons it doesn't work is because this game is not correctly balanced, alright? And that's why I really want to talk about these EGG-onomics. Alright, you guys, the game's not correctly balanced. I have hatched like 3,000 eggs, and I'm not even kidding on that. And yet, I've only hatched a couple of perfect Pokemon, albeit I did hatch some really good perfect Pokemon. Like you guys remember, I hatched a perfect Snorlax for an organic player who doesn't play with trackers. Yes, that would be simply amazing, and you would be like, yo, let me power that bad boy all the way up with all this Stardust that I've been grinding, so I can see the game is somewhat balanced, yet you still shouldn't have to hatch 3,000 eggs to get one perfect Pokemon. Let's go into the EGG-onomics real quick, you guys. I'm gonna break out some real hard numbers, okay? So let's go ahead and look at the numbers. I'm gonna like stare off into space while I read this because it's really complex. Wynaut hatch rate. So we're gonna look at what are the chances of hatching a Wynaut and what is the maximum cost you could potentially spend on hatching a Wynaut. Alright, so Wynaut hatch rate is 0.2%, or about 1 in 500 egg hatches. If you buy the 2,500 coins at $19.99 for that package, you're spending about 8 cents per coin, and you're spending about 150 coins per incubator, so that's going to be $1.20 per incubator. Now, each of those incubators gives you 3 uses, and you're going to need to, let me see if I can read this correctly. You have to pay for 8 of the 9 incubators because you get the free incubator, so you have to factor in the free incubator reduces your cost a little bit. Okay, so the total cost potentially, probably the max that you could spend, according to the statistics, is $178 to catch a Wynaut because it only hatches from the eggs. Now, don't you think that that is a little bit expensive? I mean, if I wanted to get a legendary card in Clash Royale, I have to spend like $5 and I can open a legendary, and then, you know, sometimes I have to open a couple of super magicals and I get a legendary, but it's like, there's no $178, you know? Like, I have spent that much on my Clash Royale account, but I had the legendaries way before I spent that much money. So I mean, even for a normal player who might spend like $100 on a game over the lifetime of that game while they play it for a year or two, that's a lot of money. I'm like, where do you think that kids are gonna come up with that kind of cash to be able to afford to get a Wynaut? So is the motto of the game gotta catch 'em all, or is it not gotta catch 'em all? That's my big question, you guys. To me, the motto of the game is gotta catch 'em all, yet we have regionals that prevent you from catching 'em all, we have biomes that prevent you from catching 'em all, and then we have the added layer of cost that prevents you from catching them all. So this game has a really big balancing issue. I think that they're trying to work on features to enrich the game and make it a better experience, but it still has a very significant balancing issue even 2 years into the game's existence. I mean, we're not at the 2-year mark yet, but I consider this to be year 2 because we already did year 1. So it's kind of like, hey guys, could you balance your game so that kids can play, so that it's more fun so you don't have to spend so much? Anyway, that's just my rant. Now let's watch some 10k egg hatches, and the question is, which 10k egg was perfect? Well, we're gonna have to watch these appraisals and we'll see which of them is perfect. Let's have a look, you guys. The Porygon, not perfect, but still, that is a lit hatch. Although if I hatched a perfect Porygon, I'd probably be freaking out. That's one of the, probably the most lit 10k egg hatches that I could get. They used to be 5ks, now they're a 10k, and I did also hatch a ton of Generation 3 10ks. They weren't hatching for me, I wasn't getting them. I don't really hatch that many 10k eggs because I saved them, but they weren't hatching, and then I finally got a bunch of them on this spree. So let's go ahead and look at this Mareep. Oh, looks like it can battle with the best of them. Woo! Lit! Oh yeah, that was the one, you guys. I got the perfect Mareep. Totally an ultra spawn. I mean, you barely even see Mareep. It is an electric type. It goes to Ampharos, and of course Ampharos is an ultra spawn as well, super rare. And now I have got the perfect Mareep with the egg on it. That's why I labeled it egg. The Mareep has got the egg forever from completion standpoint to hatch every single perfect Pokemon. That is kind of like goals, but also coming back to the EGG-onomics, it would cost me thousands of dollars to hatch every single one of those perfect Pokemon and get the egg on them, which brings me back to the EGG-onomics again, because let's say they rotate the eggs, right? They rotate the eggs and there's species that are no longer in those eggs. You literally don't have enough time to hatch all the eggs that you could possibly hatch and get all the perfect Pokemon that you could possibly get from that set before they change the Pokemon that are in that set and there's no longer those Pokemon available. So you literally couldn't even spend the money fast enough because you could never walk that fast to hatch all those eggs to get all the perfect Pokemon, because statistically you just have no chance of doing that. So it's literally impossible to do what I want to do, and it kind of breaks my spirit. It makes me like, oh my god, I can't even really complete what I want to do in this game because it's not possible, even if I was willing to spend that much money, which I was in year 1, but I'm not now. The more that I think about the balancing, I'm like, it's impossible, so why would I try? But then, you know, I really was gonna try. So anyway, you guys, it's just kind of like, when you think it all the way through from beginning to end, it's like, why would they create a game where the goal of completing the game is actually impossible? You can't catch them all, you can't hatch them all perfect. It's a little bit frustrating, but yet we still play because it's fun. You know, there's aspects of the game that are super fun, and then there's parts of it that are literally impossible and you could never complete it. So playing it the highest end of gameplay it's just not possible. So anyway, there's kind of like the love and the, you know, frustration when it comes to Pokemon Go. It's like, hey, we love your game, but if you balanced it better, you'd probably make more money off of us, you know? And it would be a little bit more engaging too, because people hatching perfect Pokemon is litty, like skitty. So I don't know, it's just kind of like, hey, maybe if they would do it a little bit better, it'd be better for everybody. But, you know, I can't complain too much. I hatched a perfect Snorlax, lit. I hatched a perfect Mareep now, super lit. You guys can tell me if you think I should evolve it down in the comments. I kind of like that it has the egg and it's the 506, so it forever represents the number that you would have to hatch. If you hatch a 506, it is automatically always a perfect, and you cannot hatch anything bigger than a 506, so it is kind of like interesting data. So I kind of like that it's a 506 and it's just sitting there forever. So anyway, you guys, that is going to be the end for this video. Super exciting video, a lot of really good information in this video, and of course we hatched the perfect Pokemon. Can never ever complain about that. Thank you to everybody for watching my videos. Thank you to all of my amazing subscribers, and